What do you think of when you hear the word monster? Do you think of the thing that's waiting for you at the end of the hall when you need a glass of water as a child? Do you think of the giant kaiju lurking in the depths, waiting to feast on your dream? Or do you think about the thing that's always just out of sight, but you know it's there? Maybe behind your shower curtain, and maybe it's right behind you. In today's video, we're going to explore what I believe to be the top 5 most interesting monsters in all of fiction. Obviously, I will have some sort of cognitive bias considering I have not explored all of fiction, but I truly believe that I have collected a myriad of truly terrible and well-designed monsters. Let's get into it. Number 5. You wake up, stirring in your sleep. A chill clings to your skin, though the air remains eerily still. Your breathing quickens as an oppressive weight presses down on your chest, like unseen hands wrapping around your lungs. Faint whispers slither through the edges of your consciousness, speaking in a language older than time itself. The words are nonsensical, yet they gnaw at your thoughts with maddening familiarity. First, the world appears merely distorted, as if viewed through warped glass. Shadows ripple where none should move, stretching like grotesque tendrils across the walls. Colors bleed and twist unnaturally. What was once green now writhes between hues that defy comprehension. The horizon seems impossibly distant, bending inward as though space itself folds beneath the weight of some unfathomable presence. A sickening stench fills your nostrils, salt and rot, mingled with the ancient decay of things long buried beneath the sea. Your limbs tremble as gravity itself falters, making each step feel like wading through viscous waters. On the edges of your sight, massive tentacles writhe with a terrible grace, flickering in and out of existence like phantoms lurking between worlds. As the minutes bleed into eternity, your sanity frays. Rational thought crumbles into ash, replaced by a primal terror. The whispers grow louder, coalescing into a singular, deafening chorus. You know without knowing that your perception is being peeled apart, layer by layer, revealing truths that humanity was never meant to grasp. Your tongue tastes the bitter ash of cosmic insignificance. Blood trickles from your ears, though you no longer register pain. The stars above twist into grotesque spirals, beckoning you toward truths so vast they threaten to consume your fragile psyche. You cling to the edges of coherence, desperate to escape the writhing abyss. And yet, despite the horror clawing at your senses, a single realization dawns upon you. A cruel revelation etched into your mind by the madness that lurks beyond time and space. As the final threads of lucidity unravel, you find yourself atop a placid island of ignorance, surrounded by seas of black infinity. Before I even started doing research on this video, I knew I had to include H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu. Cthulhu is so notorious for conjuring other subgenres of horror, such as cosmic horror, eldritch horror, unfathomable concepts. I can't really say that word very well, but you get the idea. Of course, he has to be on the list. Not only has Cthulhu's presence transpired across all forms of fiction and media, but I do believe he's actually influenced and inspired a lot of the future monsters on this list. So, with that being said, let's get to number 4. Number 4. Item: SCP-2006. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-2006 is to be contained within a 10 meter by 10 meter reinforced containment chamber at Site-118. The interior is to be fitted with a standard projection screen and a rotating selection of media that is deemed to be sufficiently frightening by Foundation Psychological Analyst. Personnel assigned to SCP-2006 are required to maintain a facade of extreme fear and distress during all interactions with the entity. Under no circumstances should SCP-2006 become aware of its inability to invoke genuine terror in human subjects. Bi-weekly performance reviews will be conducted to ensure personnel adherence to this directive. Failure to display convincing fear in SCP-2006's presence will result in reassignment and amnestic treatment as necessary. Description: SCP-2006 is a shape-shifting entity of variable mass and volume, capable of assuming the appearance and behavioral traits of any creature, real or fictional, to which it has been exposed. SCP-2006 claims that its primary objective is to, quote, spread fear and horror in the hearts of man. However, analysis has determined that its understanding of fear is deeply flawed and based almost entirely on early 20th century horror films. Behavior: SCP-2006 interacts with doctors and containment personnel in an overly dramatic and enthusiastic manner always trying to frighten them. It frequently greets staff with theatrical horror movie quotes, exaggerated evil laughter, and sudden transformations into classic monsters. However, its understanding of fear is so misguided that these encounters often come across as more comical than terrifying. At this time, SCP-2006's efforts to induce fear have been largely ineffective. However, it remains classified as Keter due to a singular, unsettling fact. It is learning. Every film, every interaction, every simulated scream from personnel, it's absorbing all of it. And while current attempts to remain juvenile, the potential remains. Because the moment it discovers what truly terrifies us, containment will fail, and nothing will be able to stop it. Alright, so before I give my thoughts on SCP-2006 and just how awesome of a character that is, I just want to let you know, the reason why I'm in a different shirt for almost every segment of this video is because I'm still learning how to edit, and this takes a long time for me. I'm a busy man, and I'm doing my best. So, please like and subscribe if you appreciate the effort. SCP-2006 is such an interesting and awesome character in so many facets. To start, it's not inherently evil, even though it claims it wants to transpire fear in as many humans as possible. The whole concept of it is depicting what it believes to be the scariest thing it understands, or what it knows. The coolest concept behind this character is the fact that it's heavily influenced by old media, and the only way to contain it is to show it things that might seem scary to a creature like this, and where humans are telling it that it's scary, but realistically, the threat it imposes is unbelievable. If it were to ever discover the threat of nuclear warfare, or what it means to torture someone, or what real human fear looks like, and it started imposing that on the world, there'd be nothing we could do. It's such a cool character. I love the concept. It's just so damn interesting, and I'm happy to say he's number 4 on the list. So now let's get into number 3. Number 3. In the Imperium of Man, one threat does not come with the roaring guns of war, nor blaring horns of Xenos invasion. Instead, it creeps in silence, hidden in the depths of hive cities, mining colonies, and forgotten outposts. It does not conquer with fleets or armies, but with whispers, faith, and blood. This is the way of the Gene Stealer, the harbinger of planetary doom. It begins with a single creature. Perhaps it arrives aboard a drifting space hulk, hidden in the cargo hold of a merchant ship, or buried deep in the ruins of a forgotten war zone. At first, it waits, lurking in the dark, its alien mind reaching out for prey. When it strikes, it does not kill. At least, not yet. Instead, it implants a genetic curse, a seed of corruption that twists the victim's body and mind. Those infected do not realize their fate. They return to their homes, their families, their duties, unaware that their thoughts are no longer their own. Soon, they feel an irresistible compulsion to protect something that they do not understand. Their children are born changed, not fully human, not fully Xenos, but something in between. These hybrids, hideous yet loved, are the first generation of the Gene Stealer cult. As the years pass, the infection spreads. The cult grows, its numbers hidden within the teeming masses of the Imperial Society. Workers, soldiers, priests, and even planetary governors all fall under the sway of the brood mind, serving their unseen master with unwavering devotion. The first Gene Stealer, now evolved into a monstrous patriarch, exerts its will through physical psychic dominance, weaving a vast conspiracy that remains undetected until it is far too late. Then comes the day of ascension. Believing themselves to be the chosen of their gods, the cult rises in rebellion. Armed with weapons stolen or smuggled from the Imperial armories, they tear down symbols of their oppressors, paving way for salvation. But their gods do not come to save them. The Hive fleet arrives, not as a deliverance, but as an apocalypse. The Tyranids descend, stripping the world of all life, consuming even their most faithful servants without hesitation. By the time the Imperium realizes what has happened, the world is lost. The cult, once a whisper in the dark, has served its purpose. The Gene Stealers have done their work. The planet is nothing but biomass now. Fuel for the Great Devourer. If you know Warhammer 40k, then you know that the Tyranids have to be on this list somewhere. And the Tyranids, they have so many diverse bioforms, but the one in particular that I thought really stuck out was the Gene Stealer. Just because the idea of the process the cult that comes with it, the way that they collect your genetic data and aggregate it into a gigantic hive mind. They've taken the genes from trillions, quadrillions of species across the whole universe, and they've collected it as a singular organism. It's amazing. The Gene Stealer cult is so cool, and the way that they can infiltrate you is amazing. So, Gene Stealers, number 3. Let's get to number 2. Number 2. There lurks a creature beneath the streets, unseen and unknown, not because it hides, but because it makes you forget. Its eyeless heads rise from the darkness, its played skin stretched too tight over grotesque skeletal forms. It does not hunt like other monsters, it does not chase or stalk, it does not need to. Instead, it sings. Its song is not heard in the way one hears the wind or whispers. It is a gnawing absence, a silence that unravels memory. The moment its melody touches the mind, reality itself shifts. You forget the thing you just saw. You forget the empty chair at the dinner table was ever filled. You forget the warmth of a friend's voice, the presence of a lover, the child that once held your hand. A town is drained of its people, but no one panics, because no one remembers they were ever even there. The false Hydra feeds in plain sight, dragging its victims into the cracks beneath the earth. No one sees them go. No one hears their screams. Perhaps, for a fleeting moment, someone notices a gap, a pause in a conversation where a name should be, a lingering sense of unease when they look at the extra toothbrush by the sink. But then the song swells, and the thought drifts away, forgotten before it can take root. It grows as it feeds, its long neck slithering through tunnels and up it into abandoned buildings, watching with hungry anticipation. It does not kill out of malice, nor out of cruelty. It does not need to. The people above never fight back, because they do not know there is anything to fight. But sometimes, in moments between notes, the song falters. A fragment of memory resurfaces, an echo of laughter, a shadow in a photograph that should not be empty. And in that fleeting, horrifying instant, realization dawns. Something is wrong. Someone is missing. Something is lurking beneath the town, growing and waiting. Now, prior to doing research for this video, I had no clue that the false Hydra from D&D even existed. But gosh darn am I glad I found out about it, because it is awesome. Now, this is actually a character that I really encourage you to go watch a separate video on. I could maybe make a video on it in the future if you guys like this type of content. But I'm not as knowledgeable as a lot of other people in the D&D world are. So, but it's amazing. It definitely deserves to be number 2, or at least on this list, in my opinion. So let's go on to number 1. Number 1. So unlike a lot of the other monsters on this list, I'm not going to be using a slideshow and pictures and cool dialogue to display the monster, because this one's actually quite personal to me. The monster that I've chosen to be number 1 on this list is the Flood, and that is actually because of a very sentimental reason, and that is my dad. You see this jersey behind me, and if you look past, you can see his helmet's up there. Halo 3 was the first and last game I ever played with my dad. At the time, I was only 8 years old, and it was quite scary for me. The level Cortana, which most players regard as the worst level in Halo, it was actually my favorite because of the Flood. My dad always sat there with me, and he helped me get through the levels, and it was really great. So, with the memory in my heart, this one's out for my dad. Now, with that being said, I will attempt to justify why I do believe the Flood is the best monster in all of fiction. You can look at other zombie-like monsters in fiction, such as maybe the necromorphs, maybe the aliens from Alien. You can look at general demons, clickers. You can look at standard zombies from things like The Walking Dead. But none of them are as well written or as unique as the Flood. And that's for one particular reason. And that reason is the threat that they impose. You see, the whole story of Halo revolves around the fact that, at one point, the Forerunners literally decided to destroy all organic life in the galaxy just to get rid of the Flood. A singular Flood spore is stated to be able to destroy an entire species, and that is amazing. They can steal your intelligence. They can steal your body. They can steal your mind. They can keep you as a host. They can morph and change their body in any way they need. It is the epitome and the masterclass of body horror, and it is number 1 on this list. And that's it. That's my top 5 monsters in all of fiction. I'm sure a lot of you will disagree, and I hope you do. please leave your top 5 in the comments, and if you really want me to, I can make a part 2 to this video. So, with that being said, please like and subscribe. Believe it or not, this actually took me well over 20 editing hours because I'm brand new to this. I'm trying to make my videos pretty professional. If they start doing good, I can maybe make 2 or 3 a week, but I'm currently entrenched with college stuff, and that's been running my life for a while now. So, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.